Well, good morning folks, and welcome to the channel. For our regular subscribers, you'll know that over the recent weeks and months I've been steadily uploading footage of my Panama Canal highway trip that I did back in 2010. So I want to start today's video with an apology. So far I've uploaded my trip from Alaska through Canada, America, Mexico, Guatemala. The last episode was covering El Salvador, Belize and Honduras. However, something awful has happened, and from Honduras through the rest of Central America into South America, from Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Chile and Argentina, I have no helmet cam on bike footage of the whole trip. Well, I had, but it's disappeared. In the 10 years since I did the trip, it was on a hard drive somewhere, and for the life of me I've scoured the entire house and I can't find it. And all of you motor vloggers and travel vloggers out there, you know what it's like when you've done an amazing trip, you've recorded the footage and for whatever reason it's lost. You know, the SD card was corrupt, or I don't know what happened. I'm extremely frustrated and upset by it. However, you know, worse things can happen. And in these days of lockdown and COVID-19, there are more important things to worry about. But I wanted to apologise before you watch this that the only footage I've got that's on the bike is basically a copy of a copy based upon the original upload I did to the blog 10 years ago. So the footage is pretty poor, and so I can only use bits and pieces of it. So I apologise beforehand. Please forgive me and bear with me on that front. So that's why there's not an awful lot of on-bike footage. For our regular subscribers, I want to thank you for your continued support and for watching the videos. For any new viewers, believe me, as soon as the COVID-19 crisis is finished and the lockdown is over, MMD will be back up and running, and we can't wait to get out and do some more proper rides. In the meantime, let's get back to Central America. This latest episode is my journey from Nicaragua through Costa Rica and down to Panama City. So despite the dodgy footage, I hope you enjoy it a little bit anyway. Until next time, thanks for watching.
This monkey will not get off my arm.
So it was with great relief that we left Choluteca and headed to cross the border into Nicaragua and headed for our next stop, which was Leon.
So here I'm at the Nicaraguan border, and I'm just getting my insurance from this lovely lady here, and I'm practicing my Spanish on this.
Our first night in Leon, and we're in a hostel.
Yes, I finally come to this in hostels with shared bathrooms. But it seems pretty nice. Here's the bikes, tucked away. A cold water, of course, no agua caliente here. But it's got a swimming pool, internet, free tea and coffee. The Christmas tree there. They're doing some refurb work at the moment, so from 7 till AM in the morning till 5. It's going to be very noisy apparently. And here is the pool room, snooker. Internet cafe. And swimming pool. $20 a night, not too bad, I suppose. Well, it'll do for one night.
Leon is Nicaragua's second biggest city and a population of just over 200,000. Also very popular with backpackers, but it has a beautiful Baroque cathedral.
We're down here in the square in Leon. You know, it's got the old colonial buildings there. A little bit more run down than Guatemala and Mexico, but at least it's got a bit of character to it.
After a short stay in Leon, we headed for the beautiful colonial city of Granada, situated on the shores of Lake Nicaragua.
We're on our way to Granada via Managua, and riding along the side of Lake Nicaragua, in the middle of which there are two huge volcanoes. we are, so I thought we'd just stop.
Lake Nicaragua is the largest lake in Central America and the 19th largest lake in the world. It has two volcanoes which are joined together to form one island.
We've reached Granada and we've checked into the Bearded Monkey, yes, the Bearded Monkey hostel. And
Checked into the
Lenny's up in the gods up there,
yeah, in the loft.
And this is my luxurious room with a few stains on the bed, a bit like a cell really, like St. Quentin. And there's the bikes, and there's the courtyard, and there's the women doing washing. Oh, it's all kind of top-class stuff.
Granada was founded on the shores of Lake Nicaragua by Francisco Hernandez de Cordoba in 1524. It's the oldest city on the continent and the most developed as a tourist destination, and very famous for its classical colonial architecture. It's actually quite a beautiful place.
No, you're not. So this is downtown Granada with Ted and Lenny watching these break dancers.
After 3 days in Granada, Lenny and me decided to part company. He wanted to go and do his own thing and I wanted to head to the coast. So headed for the small coastal resort of San Juan Del Sur.
Now this is San Juan Del Sur. Just arrived and I found this lovely place. Well, actually it found me. Somebody stopped me in the street and asked me if I was looking for accommodation with secure parking for the bike. So this is perfect. Up on a hill. This is the view over San Juan Del Sur. It's in a small place, not far to walk. Nice room, $10 a night. Perfect.
Virtually every city and town in every Central American country had some form of religious festival going on at any given time. San Juan del Sur was no different. However, this one seemed to comprise of some strange bloke holding lighted fireworks chasing children around the street. Health and safety nightmare.
Down in San Juan del Sur in Nicaragua. Henry's Iguana Bar on the beach. Just finished it. Checking my emails, my coffee. Yeah. It was nice to have a good view and have breakfast, I think.
San Juan del Sur is on Nicaragua's southwest coast and it's famous for its beaches and kind of bohemian lifestyle. It also has a towering contemporary Christ of Mercy statue standing on the cliffs above the bay.
Sunset over San Juan.
After an all too brief stay in San Juan, I crossed the border at Peñas de Blancas into Costa Rica, where I was heading for the little seaside town of Yaco.
Here at the Aduana, Costa Rica, we're pushing pillar to post as usual. And this should be the last step, but this bloke is supposed to be doing is just bug it off. Over there somewhere. No kind of sense of urgency. Here I am in Costa Rica, in a little surf town of Yaco.
After a couple of relaxing days in Yaco, I headed south, hoping to get pretty close to the Panamanian border. The trouble was I couldn't find any accommodation. It coincided with a massive festival, another one, called the Festival of the Lights, and all the hotels were full. So in the end I ended up in a little town called Ciudad Nili, where I had to pay way over the odds for one night in a guest house.
No wonder I couldn't get a room in this place, because it coincides with this huge Festival de las Luces, Festival of Lights. Throughout Costa Rica tonight there are huge celebrations and parades, and everybody's going crazy. It lasts all night long. I'm just in a bar here, and you can see there are fireworks going off throughout Costa Rica tonight. It's going to be a very lively night, I guess. Every screen's got it all on, so I'm going to have something to eat here and then go to the town and see what all the fuss is about. Festival de las Luces.
The next day, after a short ride to the border, I then spent several hours waiting in the interminable heat for paperwork to be processed. One thing in Central America, they don't stress about anything. It takes forever to get anything done.
The country is just trying to get the migration of Panama.
I intended to break up my journey to Panama City by staying overnight with an expat called Norman, who I'd been corresponding with on an online motorbike forum, and he invited me to stay if I was passing through. So I thought I'd take him up on the kind offer. And while I was waiting to process my paperwork to get into Panama, I happened to bump into another expat, Andy, who was riding his motorbike down from New York, so I also invited him to come with me. I'm sure Norman wouldn't mind.
This is his hippie bike commune. Look what's going on here. That's Alex. And this is Andy, we just met at the border from Grimsby, who lives in New York.
You get all the way to the Costa Rica border and you meet.
We had the most surreal couple of days with a total stranger, Norman, who invited anybody to stay in his big villa in the middle of the Panamanian jungle. Lots of local bikers, expat bikers, basically anybody that turned up. Everybody was welcome, with a beer, a room for the night and food. What more could you ask for? Basically, it was just another amazing example of the generosity and kindness of spirit of all the people that I met on the road. One of Norman's permanent guests was the little monkey who took a real shine to me and just wouldn't let me go.
$1 under the table. But it's the same. Yeah. If you want a serious relationship, forget it. But I know with her that she's not interested in the money. She has more money than I do, you know.
This monkey will not get off my arm. Come to my bedroom to get away from the monkey, and he's gone round the outside, and there he is, looking at me, trying to get in. He's taking a real shine to me. Bloody monkeys. He won't leave me alone ever since I arrived here. I'm trying to get on my back. So this is Norman's empire, and they've got some monkeys up there in the trees. There's about 6 monkeys altogether, including this one. Little bugger, aren't you? One minute you turn your back and he'll be on your back, literally. And we're about to head off towards Panama City today. Arrived in Panama City, and after hours riding around trying to find this, I found the hostel. Yes, another hostel, Mama Llenas, and this is my dorm. Goes like you make a school. That's mine down there. These are my fellow roommates. I don't know who they are. Haven't met them yet, but And the good news is there's no water in the city, so I can't go to the toilet, can't shower, I stink to high heaven, and everything's out of order. When will it be ready? Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm humming. Such is life in the Durham.
I must admit, I only managed one night in this backpackers hostel, and I couldn't stand it because I couldn't get any sleep. So I asked the person at reception if there was a local hotel, and he just smiled and directed me to one, as if to say, yeah, someone of your age shouldn't be sleeping in a hostel. The plan was, in Panama City, I was going to get my bike shipped across to Bogata in Colombia by Girag Air Company. But that took a couple of days to organise. So while I was there, you can't come to Panama City and not visit the Panama Canal.
When in Panama, you have to come and see the Panama Canal because, well, it's there. And this is what Panama's most famous for. So here I am down at the Miraflores locks. Sadly, no ships coming through at the moment.
The Panama Canal is an artificial 82-kilometre waterway in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. It was finished in 1914 and took 11 years to build and cost more than $350 million. It takes the average ship 8 to 10 hours to transit the Panama Canal. Depending on the size of the ship, it can cost anything from $2,000 to up to $500,000. Having said that, the smallest toll was actually 36 cents paid by a man named Richard Halliburton in 1928 who actually wanted to swim across.
Yes, it's like a shanty town with a backdrop of huge conglomerates. December the 15th, I think, or 16th, and I'm in Panama City, waiting my flight to Bogata, and this is one of the squares in Panama City. All geared up for Christmas, of course. Girag in Panama, ready to ship the bike to Bogata, and that's what I've done. I've loaded it up, put my smelly dirty gear on it, turn the mirrors back in, and that's Andy's 800 GS, and here we are waiting to process the paperwork, and it all seems a bit too laid back. Hope it's going to get there in one piece.